Okay, folks, welcome to Alaska Motorsports Podcast. I was asked to put together a video of everything that I carry on the trail. I'm the Boy Scout of the group that we ride with. I try and carry everything that I need for here in Alaska. Let's face it, folks, we do things different up here in Alaska. People down in the lower 48, yeah, they may pack for winter, but they don't pack for winter like us. They may get snow, but it's gone in 2 or 3 days. We get snow, it's here till April, if not longer. So we do things different. We should carry things different. We need to have a decent head on our shoulders. First thing I want to talk about is carrying a sidearm or a long rifle. Everybody here in Alaska, if you were going out in the woods, I don't care if you've been down that trail 100 times and you've never seen nothing, take a handgun or a long rifle. Just because you ain't seen nothing on that trail before and you'll be safe doesn't mean you're going to run into a upset mama moose or a pissed off bear. So be prepared. Also, folks, don't ever try and do anything by yourself. Always take a partner with you. Your partner may not be ready. He may not be prepared like you, but always take somebody. If something happens to one can go get help. Don't travel the woods out here by yourself. First of all, let me talk about riding gear. Always take a helmet. And here in Alaska, you can get a snow machine helmet that's got the gaskets and stuff and necks to keep you warm as you're riding, your ATV, your snow machine, whatever. Your side-by-side if you want to take it out in winter. Think about the gear that you're riding with. Always have an extra jacket with you. I wrap it up and put it in a plastic bag like this. I have gone out many times and gotten wet, so I needed a backup jacket. I carried bags. These are bags that I picked up over the years. They're just Ziploc baggies. Put your cell phone in one, put your wallet and your ID in another, money, cash, whatever you may need. I got a big one here for maybe a change of clothes. You don't want to throw your wet clothes in with all your dry equipment. I always try and carry plastic bags. These are just large commercial size trash bags. You can pick these up at any of your hardware stores. They can turn into a poncho. They can carry equipment. They can turn into a tarp to cover firewood. Many uses for a good trash bag. As I said, I carry extra clothes, underwear, pants, socks, long sleeve shirt. In this particular bag, I have 2 pairs of socks, winter socks to be exact, a pair of extra winter gloves, and a knit cap. In case I get wet, drowned, or drenched, I got something warm to change into. I always carry a poncho, one of these disposable things. They're about $1 everywhere. They may be a little more now, but they ain't much more than $1. Once again, you can turn this into a tarp. I have a space blanket. I've never used it, but they're supposed to be extremely warm. I carry a blanket that I roll up. This isn't really heavy, but it's good enough to keep the winds off me. Obviously, I take my cell phone. Even though we may not have service out there, there's always a chance on the top of a peak you may get service. You never know. You're better off if you have a sat phone. And in that sat phone and in your cell phone, always record the number for Alaska MedLife. MetLife. They have a program out there for, I think it's $149. You can get an insurance plan for the entire family. If you're injured out there in the tundra somewheres, hopefully they'll come out and find you. My cell phone's for pictures as well. Always try and call 911 first when you have an injury or an accident or something like that. Most of these villages and fire departments and rescue departments have a mobile search team or rescue team. It may take them a while to get to you, but almost every department that I'm aware of in Alaska has had to go out into the woods and knows how to do it. They train on it. Please call 911 first and try and give them your coordinates. Speaking of coordinates, don't ever go out in the woods without a GPS. This is my GPS. They have changed so much. This one here has saved me a couple times. I have been lost in the tundra. Simply went off the trail to use the restroom and got spun around and didn't know where I was. This thing brought me back to the trail. These devices use a lot of battery power for the connection between them and the satellite. Always carry spare batteries. Folks, this is not absolutely necessary, but it can help depending on the climate and the devices that you have. You can plug this into your ATV. It's a little transformer. It'll give you 110 power outside of it. You're not going to run a microwave or an air conditioner on it, but you can charge your devices and such with it. Not everybody needs that. Battery backup. I've had this one quite a long time. It's a very nice unit. It's never let me down. Charge it up before you go. You can actually plug USB devices into this and it will act like a backup battery for your machine, for your accessories. Let me talk about accessories. Not every ATV out there, or UTV, or snow machine has an accessory plug on it. I saw this, I picked it up for the video. This is a auxiliary port, accessory port, that you can wire into your battery and you can mount it anywhere on your ATV. That will give you 12-volt power supply. Then you can plug your cell phone into it, your floodlight, any device that you need to charge. Do that while the machine's running. This is my cell phone cord. I can also take it out of this charger, plug it into here, and now I can charge my cell phone off of this backup battery. I can do the same thing with this battery supply that I showed you earlier. Now, from my older machine, it doesn't have an accessory port, I use this. These clamps clamp directly onto the battery, and now I have an accessory port that I can plug my cell phone into and charge it. You may want to charge your camera, you may want to charge your flashlight. This flashlight here is a floodlight and it's rechargeable, so you can charge this off of your machine at the same time. This accessory plug only has one port. They sell them now that have multiple ports in them. I suggest you get the multiple ports. You can charge 2 devices at one time. All right, let's talk about cooking. Let's talk about food. I have a pot for cooking in, melting snow. There's multiple things you can do with this. Obviously, I have a knife, a fork, and a spoon. Here is a Sterno foldable stove. I love these things. You fold them up, you put a can of Sterno in it, and you light the Sterno. It's sort of like an invisible flame, and it heats your food. This has got the 3-pack in it. This does not mean it's 3 meals. You can reuse the Sterno multiple times. You may get 2 meals, maybe 3 meals out of a Sterno. My favorite trail food. I know it may sound stupid. I learned this years ago when I was hiking the Appalachian Trail through Pennsylvania. We would pick up these cans and put them in our pack. You just crack the top. At that time, they didn't have cracked tops, we had to use a can opener. So we would use a can opener, stir it up, stick it right in the base of the fire, the red hot coals, stir every once in a while, pull it out, let it sit. We'd have a nice hot meal. Obviously water. Water's for you, water's for your neighbor. Always try and replenish this. Hand sanitizer. Folks, I have stopped carrying TP and I carry baby wipes now. The baby wipes are good for washing your hands before and after you go to the potty, before dinner, anytime like that. And the toilet paper always gets smashed in the thing anyway, so wipies and wipies only. That's up to you. Oh, my meals. These are MRIs. These were approved by the Coast Guard. I don't even know how old these things are. I've had them in my pack for quite a while. There is 8 meals in here. I don't know what the meals are. I've never opened them. As you can see, it's still sealed. In case of an emergency, anything will go down. I believe you have to add a little water to these, but. All right, folks, let's talk about some trail stuff. Always carry some straps. Ratchet straps are pretty much good for tying something down, tying some firewood down as you find some. Multiple uses. I have a D-ring and I have a snatch block. A snatch block is a device that you put your winch cable in, tie this off to a tree or something like that, and that'll give you a 90-degree or maybe even more degree of a turn. You can go back. If you pull out of here, go through, go back to your machine and start pulling with the winch, you double your power load or your pulling load. Very easy device to maintain and keep. You can get these things to Harbor Freight dirt cheap. Always have a D-ring or a shackle. You can attach 2 different cables together if you have to. You can attach this thing to a tree. Cables. This here is a 25-foot cord, I believe. It's a snatch cable. Means it's got a little elasticity to it. I have another one of these under my seats and stuff I carry. You can't never have enough of these things. You never know if somebody's going to be, 30 or 40 feet in the mud, and you need to stay on solid ground. So always carry multiple cables. Tire repair kits, plugs, can it fix a flat, and an air compressor. This is a 12-volt air compressor. Plugs into your accessory port that we talked about earlier, and this will fill up the tire. This is going to take a little while because there's a little compressor and there's a lot of air in that tire. Even though there's not a lot of pressure, there's a lot of volume. So just bear with it. Bug spray. If you live in Alaska, you know what this is for. Keep them birds that they call mosquitoes off of you. Marking tape. God forbid you get out there and your GPS dies, or somebody's following you, or you're lost. Mark the trail. Okay, you can tie a piece of it, rip a piece of this off, tie it on a branch. You know you've been down that trail, so you can find your way back. Duct tape fixes everything. I chose the red color because if I am lost and the helicopter's got to come find me, I can, with this duct tape, I can make a big X on the ground. The red is more reflective up in the air. If you try and put gray or black on the ground, it's not going to be seen very well. First aid kit. This is not a huge first aid kit, but it's what I got room for. It's got your band-aid, your gauze pads, a little pair of scissors, some tape. You can get some Q-tips, and I believe antiseptic in it. I also carry some latex gloves. These are in case I come across somebody that's injured. This is for my protection. Let's talk about tools. Folks, every machine has a different set of tools. Every machine, when it was manufactured, came with a toolkit. Hopefully you still have your toolkit. I do not have it, so I had to make up my own. Regardless of, so when you come up with your little tool combination here, spray it down with WD-40, because when it sits in this box, it's going to rust and going to be hard to use. Folks, I got this somewhere a couple years ago. It's sort of a multi-tool. It's adjustable wrench. It's got a knife. It's got a screwdriver bit back here. I think it's got a file on here and a can opener. It got toothpicks in it. Nice little tool. Phillips flathead. A spark plug socket and wrench. Folks, this is the combination I need for my machine. Your machine may be different. You may need a swivel. You may not need an extension, or you may need a longer extension. You need to figure it out before you go out on the trail. You don't want to get out there swamps, need to remove your spark plug, and you don't have the tools to do it. I've even seen the toolkits that come with these machines not capable of pulling the spark plugs out of their own machine. So before you go, check what you need. You may also need to remove covers to access your cylinder. So figure out what tools you need to do that as well. I carry a multi-tip screwdriver. Mine has Torx and Allens on it. I have a Phillips and a straight head. I have gone through and these tips fit my machine. I do not have any tips that do not fit my machine, but if you're riding with somebody and theirs has something different, you may want to gather that up. Little small screwdriver, flashlight pen, they call it. Pair of wire cutters. Spare spark plug for my machine. Folks, this is something that is very important to me because it costs me. I was out on the trail, always carry a spare, always carry a jack. I had never thought of this until it bit me in the butt, but I had a socket on my lug tools. This is a 1/2-inch wrench with an extension, and the socket would not fit into the recess on the rims, so I could not access the lug nuts. It created a tremendous problem for me, and I was very bent out of shape because I always thought I was prepared. So before you gather your kit, make sure your socket can fit your lug nuts. I also carry a small socket set here. It's got some sockets, another adjustable wrench, ratchet, screwdrivers. Wooden matches, and these are lighter starters for your fire. They actually got some flint on there so you can strike them on the box or on a rock and get them lit. Also carry a lighter. Carry multiple ways to start your fire. Speaking of which, in my axe here, I'm sorry, my hatchet, there's a hammer on the back, very sharp axe head, and there's a flint starter in this thing. Oh, I'm sorry, down here on the bottom. Flint starter. Very nice tool. When I saw it, I said I had to have it, so I purchased it. As you can see, it's well used too. All right, I'll deal with that. Carry parachute cord. God, you don't know what you can hang up with this, but this stuff is strong. 1,000 uses. Once again, string. When you run out of parachute cord, or you don't need to really hang something that heavy up, some string. I carry it. This is a knife set. It's a skinning set that I got from Bass Pro, I believe. Has a bone saw in here that you can use for trimming limbs. Multiple different size knives. Very universal tool, so I keep it in my survival kit. Paper towels, 101 uses, but the one unseen use is you can use this to start your fire as well. A couple pieces of this, shove it inside some kindling, and it'll help you get started. Another thing that's good to have is Vaseline soaked cotton balls. You keep them in a Ziploc baggie, and they light up very well on a fire. Also, when you're out in the tundra and you're camping or you're lost, don't let any paper go to waste. Here is a little giveaway thing that Alaska USA Credit Union was giving away. I liked it so much I picked up one for my trail bag, but got a little tape measure on it. You flip this up, it's got a little notepad here. It's got a level, I don't know which we would need that for, but it also has a pencil on here. So you can keep notes, but what I'm trying to say is don't throw away any paper. Always use it to start your fire. For example, this paper label on this can, perfect fire starter. Don't throw it away. Zip ties. I carry the large zip ties. These are great for fixes, tying stuff down, anchoring stuff, tying something up that's dragging. A lot of purposes. You can also, now let me be very careful here, you can also use this as a tourniquet around somebody's arm that is in a very bad situation. Okay, but you have to remember that you have to, every like 3 to 5 minutes, release the pressure and let the blood flow again. Okay, so these may not be the best thing for you, but if you have a complete amputation, wire tie it off. That should keep the blood from flowing. Okay, folks, give me a minute and I'm going to take you over to the ATV and I'm going to show you how I pack this stuff and where I pack it and what I carry on the ATV. Okay, folks, this is the ATV I've been using lately. I picked it up secondhand. It was well used and abused, and I abuse it as well. On the front of my machine here, I never leave home without it. I made this. This is a land anchor. Works pretty nice. I'm not disappointed with it. It has pulled me out of many, many nightmares. So you would shove this, you would put your foot on this thing and kick it into the mud or the dirt or behind the tree. This part would be laying on the ground. Attach your winch here. When you start pulling it, this part digs into the dirt deeper and deeper and deeper. After you get yourself winched out, I've actually had to attach the winch cable to this device and pull it back out of the mud so I could retrieve it. Obviously I carry a winch. This has got a cable on it right now, but when that cable breaks or whittles away to nothing, I'm going to put nylon strap on it. Almost all of my gear from that table fits inside this device. This is my Cabela's backpacker or something. I forget exactly. It strategically has to be filled so you don't waste room. I always put the clothes and stuff on top, and like that dirty old jacket, I put it on top, and that compresses stuff so it's not bouncing around, breaking stuff. But all that stuff on that table will fit in there, and then some, as long as you pack it correctly. This Pelican case, when I take my side-by-side and we go hunting, I fill that with all that stuff. I clean the ATV out, I put all the information or all the stuff in there, and I just throw that in the back of the ATV bed area and strap it down. Okay folks, I appreciate you visiting. Once again, it's Alaskan Motorsports Podcast. If you want to get in touch with me, or if I have forgotten something or something you want to add, reach out to me at AlaskanMotorsportsPodcast@gmail.com. And you can visit us on AlaskanMotorsportsPodcast.com. That's our website. Shoot me a message, listen to some of the podcasts, share, like this video, and I appreciate your patience. Thank you.